What's up, everybody? Thanks for watching On the Ice Hockey Camp Edition Week 2. We take it out of Manitoba. We go west. We go to Alberta, where we get into the GMHL West Division. The 4 teams are hosting an ID camp August 22nd in Edmonton, Alberta. It's going to be a one-day camp. Lots of details, lots of interesting information going to be given to us by one of the organizers, Lauren Barr, who also works with the championship side of the Slave Lake Icedogs in their inaugural year. We talked about them earlier in the spring, summertime, about how great of a season they had. We will revisit that. We will look at the 4 teams. We'll see who the guest hockey clinicians will be. There's going to be some big names in Edmonton, August 22nd. We'll also talk a bit about the league, because there's some differences about this league that some leagues may not be involved. So we will get more information from the one, the only, Lauren Barr, here on the ice. Hockey Camp Edition Week 2. We finally caught up with Lauren. Lauren, you've had a busy summer, I hope?
Yeah, it's been really busy preparing for this coming season. Thank you so much for having me on the show.
Absolutely. Now, we've got some big details coming up here. We'll get to those in just a second. But, Lauren, when you talk about teams and preparations, a busy summer, how different has it really been, first off, not knowing when a season may start, but also what you can and can't do in the province of Alberta to help get ready and game shape ready for your players?
It has been a bit tricky. Obviously, having last year be our inaugural season, there was challenges in our first year. And I was really excited to the second season with no challenges, and then coronavirus happened. But to be honest with you, my methodology last year was just to focus on our business, not focus on what other people are doing. And that's kind of the same methodology I've used this season. Not everybody, quite a few people are pretty negative when it comes to coronavirus. I have faith in Albertans. I have faith in our government and medical staff to handle the issue. So I didn't really get too whipped up. I just focused on recruiting and felt that things would fall into place. And that is kind of how things have gone. Obviously now we're in stage 3, which allows our rinks to open. And it's nice that I didn't worry about Corona, but just focused on recruiting, because we have a lot of players signed and we're looking really good for this season. The only difficulty has been when it comes to the borders, because we have quite a few international players, and it's kind of hard to get really accurate information. Luckily, Canada's COVID numbers are low, so visas are being issued. So we just postponed our report to date a little bit, and we're gold.
So that is a trying question. It's a fluid question, because it changes, or we don't know the answers on a daily basis when it comes to players south of the border, players interprovincially, and also international players. I know you had a couple of players from the Scandinavian countries in Europe, correct? And they did really well. They really enjoyed their time. They flourished well, and some of them have moved on, correct?
Actually, quite a few of our players are coming back, and one of our Ukrainian players actually ended up spending the entire summer in Canada, and he's coming back. We had 2 advancements, one to ACHA Div 2 to Williston State University, and one to ACHA Div 1 Waldorf University. Our number 1 goalie, he received an award from the GMHL for being the top goalie in the division. Nelson Schiller moved on. As well as Austin Moodflag. We had actually quite a few of our players receive pro offers and pro tryout offers, but a number of our players wanted to remain in their communities with their jobs and girlfriends, which was a bit disappointing. This season, we're definitely going to be vetting our players before the season to ensure that they want to move on, because obviously that's what the program's all about. And so far, so good. A lot of our players are prospects and really excited about advancing.
Sure, that sounds like great news. Talk about real quick about the 4 teams in the West Division, including your Icedogs.
Okay, sure. So last season, the GMHL West, which is the western side of Greater Metro Hockey League, which is founded in Toronto area 15 years ago. It's a junior A hockey league, unsanctioned by Hockey Canada, but sanctioned and insured. We started our division out west with 3 teams last year, which obviously was not ideal, but you got to start somewhere. We had a really good season, and the games were typically 1 or 2 points apart, which is obviously great. Very competitive games, really high-paced, good hockey, and financially stable teams. And that's what we wanted to do. We wanted, manageable growth. This season, the division has added a new team, the Fox Creek Ice Kings. Fox Creek is a very affluent community, lots of industry and hockey fans. And they had no senior, junior team. So this is a huge addition to the community, and they have rallied around the team. It's really exciting to see the support they're getting. The GMHL is still planning on adding a couple more teams. There's a few communities that council did approve leases. We're just making sure we have adequate ownership and players in place. So the GMHL is growing, and it's nice to see that we're operational this season. And as well as the Fox Creek Ice Kings, there's also High Prairie Red Wings, the Enoch Tomahawks. Their name is the Northern Alberta Tomahawks, but they are based in Enoch, which is one of the only First Nations community junior teams.
So you have been given a go-ahead saying that there will be a league this upcoming year. There will be a season this year. Tell us how that's going to work in Alberta with the 4 teams in the West.
Okay, yeah. So the league has come out with a formal press release. Season starts October 1st. Typically, the season would have started September 1st, so the league did delay 1 month. The information that I've received from the government is that we can have 100 fans. Based on my budgeting, I'm planning for no fans. If we get fans and that helps with our budget, great. But I want to make sure we're sustainable without, so that no matter what happens, what changes. As it relates to the health of the players, obviously that is paramount, and we're following the health regulations to the letter. We also have a meeting with the health board in each community to make sure that we're complying and protecting our players. Any player coming in from out of country will obviously be quarantined for 14 days. Just like Dean Whitney, he is the new head coach GM for Fox Creek Ice Kings. He was in Carolina, and he's actually a Canadian citizen, but he's come back to Canada to coach the team. He's just arrived today, and he'll be quarantining.
So that's those guidelines need to be protected, need to be followed. We've seen it in the professional sports where it's not just it's not the protocols that are failing, it's those that are testing the protocols by not following what's being set up. And I feel that with the league setting up these parameters and making sure that they are following these 14-day limits, making sure that the players' safety and the spectators' safety is paramount, like you said, we should see an on-time, like October 1st start for the GMHL, which would be pretty awesome considering we've seen some delays for the dub, like they've mentioned December 1st. We've seen some junior programs not yet set aside starting dates for them. So it's great to see that this league is still moving forward with a 2020-21 season. And I think that's awesome for the 4 teams, especially in Alberta. Lauren, let's take a quick break. Let's come back. Let's talk about this ID camp because it's so important for getting these players back into play. And I'm sure they're probably looking forward to actually getting on the ice too and competing for a potential spot on a team, right?
Absolutely.
We'll be back here on the ice, Hockey Camp Edition, Week 2 with Lauren Barr.
Are you looking for a career in the salon industry? Check out Aveda Institute Winnipeg in the Exchange. What sets us apart is our student mentorship program, 95% placement rate after graduation, real-world salon experience, and network of 7,000 salons and spas. You will learn creative cut and coloring, latest trends and techniques, social media marketing, fashion shows, photo shoots, and more. Now accepting applications for 2018, so check us out and book your tour today. Aveda Institute Winnipeg. Hair school the way it should be.
Back on the show, the owner, the GM, what other titles do you hold amongst the GMHL, Lauren, with Slave Lake and the league?
Well, I definitely help the other teams because I have started a team. So I'm there. One thing that's really nice about the GMHL West is we do help each other. There's a real sense of community. Obviously, there's competition on the ice, but off the ice, we do help one another. When it comes to Slave Lake Icedogs, I do own that team, sole owner, as well as acting GM. The reason I took on that role is obviously my team is incredibly important to me, and I want to make sure our standard in the community is met. And until I feel that things are stable for a few years, I'm going to take on that role. But I also do other things, like the mascot for the team. Most people wouldn't know, but in the mascot suit, I wear it sometimes.
You wear the mascot suit.
Yeah, nobody else wants to do it, so I don't mind doing it.
I have to say, you mentioned in your last sentence the word community. Before we get to the ID camp, I have to ask you, amongst the 4 teams that are coming in this year's season, how important is it to see local players as well as outside players within a community playing a game they love and representing their small town or their general geography?
Well, thank you, Theo. Sorry, that's a really good question. So definitely, when it comes to local players, that's so important. Austin Mood Flag was the first recipient of the Bill Clark Memorial Scholarship. That's my stepdad. We gave him a full ride last season, and now he has a scholarship for university. None of those things would have happened without the Icedogs being in that community. Austin is a fantastic hockey player, amazing. He got, those opportunities based on his talent, but the opportunities wouldn't have been there without the team. And I think it's so important for people in the community to see their own players move on, because in small towns, with the AJ not expanding, there's some fantastic talent that sometimes doesn't have an opportunity. The GMHL is going into these communities and providing opportunities to these players, which is very important. It's also very important in the First Nations communities, which there are a lot in the surrounding areas from these teams. There's a lot of really bright, amazing athletes, and we're seeing these boys on the ice, and I'm excited to say, like, for instance, Elias Okamau, who plays for my team, this coming season he is going to be playing an incredible season, and at the end of the season he certainly will be getting pro offers. He got them this year, and he wanted to play one more year of junior. So the community of Wabasca is going to see one of their own playing pro. This is what we're all about. And in addition, it's great to have players from other countries and communities coming in, because they're adding flavor and value to those communities when they're in the billet homes, speaking in other languages, teaching younger kids in the home that might be in minor hockey about their own cultures, creating sense of community when it comes to volunteering. We do a lot of volunteering in schools. We do a lot of volunteering for community-based programs like the food bank, like shoveling walks for senior citizens. Bringing people together around the love of a sport, hockey, is really exciting to see, and it also adds that value back into the lives of those kids, because we're not only, making hockey players, we're making young men, and we want to see these boys be role models for the communities that they go back to if they're not from the area, or if they are from the area, a sense of pride for the community they come from.
The value within the community, the opportunity that player gets on and off the ice to build their own character on and off the ice. This year it starts August 22nd, ID camp for the 4 teams. Tell us a little about the day, what you can expect for the organized group, and how do players become registered for this event.
Okay, thank you so much, Theo. So I'm excited about this camp. We are one of the only junior leagues, obviously, to be operating. We take that seriously. We want to make sure that we're giving these players that opportunity, and it starts, like you said, at camp. Coming to the identification camp gives us an opportunity to find players that we may not have scouted, players that are interested in playing junior, When they come to the camp, they will be playing against one another in game style competition. As well, there'll be some drills being conducted. Kevin McClelland, 4-time Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers, he played for the Blackhawks as well, is going to be running the camp on ice. Kevin is a fantastic guy. I can't say enough good things about him. And he has taken this on. He's an advisor for the Slave Lake Icedogs. He's going to be running the camp, and all the coaches for all 4 teams and the upcoming teams will be watching and scouting. So anybody that's interested in playing junior, truly, this is your chance to be playing hockey this season. There's a lot of leagues that aren't operating, schools that aren't operating. So if you come to this camp and you play your heart out, you have a great chance of being awarded a contract. It's a 1-day camp, 3 specific ice times. Ice time in the morning at 8, then we take a break, then we have a question and answer session from the GMHL going over our program, a skate, break, skate, and then after that it'll be one-on-one meetings with the coaching staff. The camp is $150 to participate in. You get all 3 skates, you get a jersey. It's located at the River Cree Twin Rinks in Edmonton, Alberta, just off the west end in Enoch. The casino's on that same property. And at the Twin Rinks, it's going to be taking place. You need to be there at 8. To register, you go to www.gmhlwest.com, fill out a form, pay online. That's www.gmhlwest.com. So basically, for the camp, we're going to be looking for skaters, for goalies, for all 4 teams, players that are protected that have been brought to the camp from a team will be protected for that team. The remaining players will be put into a draft, and the 4 teams will be looking for players to sign. Following the camp, there will be signings on the spot for this coming season. Most of the teams within our division are reporting September 1st or September 15th, depending on the team. I have my players that are international reporting September 15th, or sorry, 1st, so that they have 2 weeks quarantine, and then we're starting our main camp September 15th in Slave Lake. I believe Enoch is September 1st, and along those lines for Fox Creek Ice Kings. So these coaches, GMs, owners will be present. It's going to be conducted again by Kevin McClelland from the NHL, who's obviously amazing. And it'll be a great chance for players to skate, to be in high competition, to be awarded a contract with a team in the GMHL West.
Absolutely. It's a 1-day camp, so you have to put your best skate forward because this is your opportunity to have your lights shine, so to speak. The interesting thing I find, Lauren, is that the age group that's invited to this is a little bit different than other junior programs throughout the country. I mean, you can have youngsters as young as 14 and as old as 21 coming to this camp, correct?
It is a pretty wide breadth, which we obviously want to make sure that the younger kids are safe. So it's unlikely at 14 to be playing, but we certainly will identify you for next season. We have signed 14-year-olds. It depends on your level of talent. Last year, the Enoch Tomahawks had a 14-year-old goalie, and he did have some game minutes. The Slave Lake Icedogs had a 16-year-old goalie, and he played quite a bit. We've also had 16 and 17-year-old players, but we are looking for phenomenal talent, and we want to stream that talent even at 14. Now, the GMHL is specific that we do allow 21-year-olds. It's literally the only junior league to allow 21-year-olds. It does really well for the GMHL because a lot of those 21-year-olds will go right to the Federal League right after playing. They seem to pick up on the 21-year-olds. They like that maturity. So we do advance a lot of players that are 21. It is their last year, and pretty well, if you haven't had an opportunity to advance in the regular streams, you can come in as a 21-year-old and almost be guaranteed to play pro.
You certainly notice a difference from a 14-year-old maturity-wise to a 21-year-old. I remember when I was 14. I'm sure you remember when you were 21. Only a couple of days ago, I know, Lauren.
Oh,
the thing is, for these young kids, it's a way to potentially show off their talents at a different league, but also one that provides that access to the community and strengthening their own character, like I said, on and off the ice. Really had a good time watching the league last year and seeing how it was coming to fruition. Shortened a little bit, not able to play playoffs, but winning the division in terms of the regular season, correct, Lauren? And you still have that trophy and that hardware somewhere?
Oh, yes, absolutely. We were 15 points ahead So we won the regular seasons. We were awarded the trophy. And it was fun seeing it come to fruition. It was really nice to have people come forward and be like, wow, you did it. And it was great. And the hockey was great. And the boys advanced. So we're proven. The other thing I will mention, when it comes to the GMHL, it's really a advancement program. So unlike Junior B, where somebody's practicing maybe once a week or playing games during the week, our program has skates every day, Monday through Thursday, about 4 hours of training, and then Friday, Saturday games, and Sunday typically a day off. So when these players are starting with us, they're really getting a lot of development, a lot of one-on-one attention, and specifically for the Slave Lake Icedogs, we do have player agents and wealth of support system to really advance these kids. So when somebody's looking at playing, not only are they going to be playing junior, but they really are, it's an investment in their future.
Absolutely. As you see on the bottom, don't get mistaken, GMHLWest.com for information about the registration for the ID camp. .net is for the league info for its connection with the Eastern Division as well. So when you're looking to register for the camp, please, GMHLWest.com. Big red button, big blue button, registration info is there. The camp day is set up as well. And of course, a little bio on Kevin McClelland. Kevin's you talk about Stanley Cup winners back in the day in the 80s, hard-nosed hockey, role model hockey, and that's exactly what this league prepares you for and develops, I think, because you are going to have your superstars, but you are going to have a majority of your players that are going to be your plug-and-play fill-in roles, and that is so evident now in every division, every junior program. Plug and play in through a system is key and vital to success in the next level. Lauren, anything else you want to mention before we say goodbye? And thank you very much for joining us.
I just want to thank you so much for your support, and thank you for having me on the show. Big fan. And again, we appreciate you putting some spotlight on the camp on August 22nd, and it's GMHLWest.com.
Absolutely. No, we look forward to seeing you. Hopefully you have a good turnout as well in the upcoming week. Lauren Barr with us again, August 22nd. Information at GMHLWest.com. Thanks for joining us here on the Ice Hockey Camp Edition, Week 2. And we'll see you guys soon later. Thank you again. Make sure you check out Coffee with Graham Tuesdays and Thursday mornings at 10:30. He's always got some great guests. He even takes some of mine once in a while. But I appreciate the hard work he puts in. Graham, Coffee with Graham, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10:30. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye for now.
Hi, I'm Nettie Weiss from Metal Master. You had an accident? Sometimes they're embarrassing, but they're always inconvenient. We have an incredible staff to take care of you. We have platinum certified techs in 4 different categories. We are certified as a gold class accredited shop. If you've made a claim already, perfect. Call us with your claim number. If you need a claim opened, give us a call. We'll walk you through it. Sometimes you can get a little nervous dealing with NPI. We'll help you out. Metal Master Auto